After beating Crewe last weekend, the gap to safety close to 5 points for Rovers, with the Easter weekend now ahead of them. 2 games in the space of 4 days will paint a clearer picture of what division Rovers will be playing in next season. The first of those comes against a Bolton side who are in the top 10, but the playoffs are just out of reach in this campaign. It's the first of 4 cup finals as Rovers take on Bolton Wanderers. Hello, welcome back. It's good to have you with us for the latest edition of the Inside Rovers pre-match show. Joining me to look ahead to this Good Friday's game against Bolton Wanderers in Sky Bet League One, Club Doncaster media manager Liam Hoden and Rovers supporter liaison officer Dean Metcalf. Dean, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good stuff. Looking forward to a busy Easter weekend.
Yeah, Easter weekend's always a great weekend for football fans, isn't it? 2 games in 4 days. What more could you ask for?
Good stuff, good stuff. A busy show coming up then. Let's take a look at what's ahead tonight. We take a look at the highlights from the win over Crewe. Gary McSheffrey discusses facing sides with different ambitions at this stage of the season. And we look back on a memorable junior takeover day. So Liam, a massive Easter weekend, perhaps the biggest Rovers have had in a long time. John Bostock said in his press conference a couple of days ago that it is 4 cup finals, and I think there's no real better way to put it than that.
Certainly isn't. No, I summed it up perfectly well. But what he also said is that the most important one is the next one. You know, it's not 4 cup finals if you don't get the job done in the next game. This is the one coming up on Good Friday against Bolton. A win in that one. It's still, I do think the Rovers are in a position where they could get away with not winning all 4, but they probably need to win 3 of them. And you need to keep that momentum going, build something off the back of the result against Crewe last weekend and give yourself a real chance in these remaining games.
Dean, we know all about this, don't we, Easter weekend, that Rovers in seasons gone by, it can literally make or break your season. If Rovers are to pick up 4 or 6 points over the next few days, having looked out of it before the Crewe game last weekend, they might well be within touching distance of safety.
Yeah, it'd be a fantastic turnaround if we could pick up those results over the next weekend. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. We've got 2 tough games against 2 pretty decent sides as well. But yeah, if we can come away with, if we can come away with 4 points, I think it'll be a decent weekend.
And the fact that the first one's at home, Liam, having had that winning feeling again last weekend, which we'll come on to very shortly, but just having that back again, the feeling of scoring goals, the feeling of winning games, leads them into this one nicely.
Yeah, definitely. There were a decent mood about the place. I think we all know that, Crewe have had a very difficult season and have really struggled, but they just getting back scoring goals, it brought a positive feeling about the place. And I think while everybody can accept that the situation is, it's difficult that Rovers are in right now, last weekend lifted a bit of optimism. There's people go, you never know. That's kind of the message now. And I think if people come to the stadium on Friday with that sense of optimism, really get behind Rovers, it can make all the difference. Bolton are doing well and finishing the season really, really well. But again, you can take advantage of them. That if Rovers have something to play for, something to run that extra yard for, and that can make all the difference this weekend.
How important do you think that the fans will be, Dean, in sort of staying with the team and having that patience as well? When maybe, because as we said earlier on, Bolton are a good side, top half of the table. There's going to be stages in the game where Rovers come under a bit more pressure than they did against Crewe, but the fans are going to be crucial in that, aren't they?
Oh, massive, definitely. You've seen before how a crowd who are behind the team can push them over that line, and I think the fans have got a big part to play in this last run-in. We've got to stay behind the lads. We've got to support them. We've got to be loud, and we've got to really push them and drive them forward and get them over that finish line.
Yeah, now many people would have been disappointed had Rovers not beat Crewe last time out, but beat them they did. And here are the highlights from that one. So Liam, a game really where Rovers did what they needed to do. First 10 minutes of the first half and the first minute of the second, that's when the goals came. And particularly the opener from Tommy Rowe, it seemed to settle everybody down, didn't it? On what was a bit of an anxious day, would you think, going into it, knowing that Crewe were virtually down anyway and everyone's looking at it going, listen, if there was ever a must win, this is it.
That's it. It was. But and what were really pleasing overall were how quickly Rovers started. Tommy Rowe touched upon it a couple of days prior to the game in the press that he wanted a fast start from Rovers, and they delivered that, and thankfully made it count, and that gave them a cushion. There were a bit of a lull after the goal, and I know there were aspects of the performance that everyone involved were disappointed in, probably wanted a bit more attacking threat and showing a bit more ruthlessness. But that second goal early in the first half made all the difference, settled it, and there were no way that Crewe were coming back from that. It were controlled from Rovers from there, which were good to see. It were a professional job, and that's what they needed. It's difficult sometimes in these circumstances to produce that professional performance when you need to. You can let emotion get into it. You can let nerves get into it. Rovers didn't do that, and that has given them a platform to hopefully go on and really make a fight of it over these last couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, Dean, Rovers expected to win, and many people afterwards would have been saying it's only Crewe, they're already down. But the fact is, you can only beat what's in front of you, and that's exactly what Rovers did.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we seen that the team have already down, have then gone on a bit of a run and started picking up results toward the end of the season? I said to the people around me on Saturday, we needed to score first. I think when you look at the games where we've scored first this season, we've gone on to do quite well. There's a couple where we've been pegged back and we've lost a game, but 9 times out of 10, when we score first, it just settles the lads down. The play we're a bit more, what's the word? They're a bit more settled, a bit more confident in themselves, and they go on and they do quite well. So that first goal was very important, and what a great goal it was by Tommy. And I mean, the second goal, 3 chances, 3 good saves by their keeper before Josh Martin just, took his time and coolly put it in the bottom corner. But yeah, it was a good game. It was a good result, and it was something that we really needed.
Never mind the win as well, Liam. Just to have that feeling of celebrating a goal again had been missed since the end of February, since Tommy Rowe last scored at Wimbledon. It seemed like an awful long time coming, didn't it?
It certainly did, and there's been opportunities. There are a couple of games where there are not a massive amount of chances created, but even at Wickham the previous week, the chances that Rovers should have been taken. It's made all the difference, I think. They can do it. There was some real good creativity. They should have scored more goals than what they did last weekend. And again, that's something to build on, that confidence. You've had that feeling of hitting the back of the net again. You've had that feeling of creating good chances. Take that on from here.
Now it's that time of the year where people say the best teams to face are those with nothing to play for. Bolton fit into that category, but Gary McSheffrey's under no illusion that they'll come to the Eco Park on Good Friday with plenty of motivation.
Against Bolton Wanderers, what's your assessment of them at the minute?
I think they're at full strength. They're one of the best footballing teams in the league. They pass it about really nice. They play some attractive, risky type football, but Evo's had a couple of years there now implementing what he wants to do, and he's got some really good players. Got some energy up the pitch, some quality up the pitch that can score the goals. But he's had a couple of injuries that probably have shaken his team up a little bit. Real fixtures in the team. Part of the furniture, if you like, that really get the team ticking and lead the team. So that's a big loss in the defender getting injured, Santos. So how he lines up after that, who knows? He's changed his shape a couple of times, but they're good players. They can all deal with the football, and we have to respect that, and they'll get our full respect from leading into the game, and then once the game starts, we'll have a game plan for it.
Liam, there's an interesting, of course, backstory to this one, with the fact that Gary McSheffrey and Ian Evatt grew up together, didn't they? Both part of a Coventry boys team that came through the system. Both had very good footballing careers as well, still friends to this day. And when Gary was asked about whether his old mate could do him a few favours, he seemed like it would probably go the other way and he'd want to get one over on him.
Yeah, that's certainly what he was suggesting, that there'll be no favours given. He'll be determined, will Ian Evatt, to get one over on Gary. Yeah, obviously, I weren't aware that they grew up together. Gary showed me the other day a picture of them, and like with Coventry boys at primary school level, and you could definitely pick out Ian Evatt with a very stern look on his face. Nothing's changed on that front, but he's done a good job as Ian Evatt, and he'll be determined now, and you can see it with their form since the turn of the year has been outstanding, really. It's up there as promotion form, or certainly playoff form, and he'll be determined to carry that momentum into the summer and ensure that Bolton next season are right there among the promotion chasers. So they've clearly shown, and they showed last week against Sheffield Wednesday, it could have easily rolled over in that one, but they popped up with a last gasp equaliser. So they're not finished by any means, and it will certainly be a tough one for Rovers this weekend.
Dean, I suppose it depends on which way you look at it. You see 10th in the table, 12 points off the playoffs. Perhaps Bolton as a team aren't going anywhere up or down, but there'll be players within that team, won't there, whether they're looking for a move or looking to earn a contract at Bolton. Everybody's got their own motivations for finishing the season strongly.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure Ian Evatt won't want them to just roll over and lose the momentum that they've built. He'll want them to carry on. Preparations will have already started for next season, I'm sure, and they'll want to get that squad in a position where they can push on next season and go for the playoffs or go for the automatics. Because at the end of the day, they are a team, like Liam said, in form at the moment, who should be looking at finishing in that top six.
Liam, I suppose everyone says it, listen, and as I've just said there are different motivations, but if you could pick 4 teams who haven't got anything to play for over teams fighting for promotion or teams fighting for relegation, you would pick those bang in the middle, wouldn't you? And I know when you look at Rovers fixtures, there's Bolton in 10th, Oxford just outside the playoffs, but then Shrewsbury and Burton, who are 16th, 17th, perhaps in positions where you're looking at them thinking, hopefully they are one mind on the beach and on the summer.
I think that's it. I think, as I kind of touched upon earlier, you get Rovers in the position that they're in, and whether you're down there or up towards the top of the table and needing points, you're going to run that bit more. You're going to chase things down. It's going to mean more to do it. On the flip side, if you're a team with nothing really to play for, you've not got that pressure on you. There's an opportunity to relax, and we see sometimes that brings out the best in clubs. But yeah, you'd like to think that the added motivation that Rovers got will carry them, make them run that extra yard, and that can make all the difference in this run of games, starting with this one on Good Friday.
Of course, we previewed our junior takeover day leading into last weekend's game against Crewe Alexandria. Here's a little snippet of how the kids got on throughout the day. Liam, a busy day for everyone involved, and I think it made it better for us and certainly the children involved as well, that the day was capped off with 3 points and smiles on faces all around.
Yeah, that certainly helps. You don't really want to be having to deal with a defeat or a disappointing performance in those circumstances. But yeah, just really capped it all off. A really good day. I was joined by Samuel, who were my mini-me for the day, and fantastic help for me, and good to see the kids enjoying it. So many of them around the stadium doing various different jobs, and they all really, got the teeth into it and seemed to embrace it and had a really good day. It's a fantastic day every year for the club, and I certainly enjoyed my sort of first experience from this side of things.
Hopefully see a few more of them back on Good Friday, cheering the lads on as well. On to the action then. Bolton, as I've said, sort of 10th in the table, 12 points off the playoff, so maybe a bridge too far for them to reach that goal this season. But you touched on, Liam, the job Ian Everett's done. He took over them last season, having led Barrow to promotion out of the National League. Tough start for him at Bolton, wasn't it? Didn't quite all go his own way to begin with, but certainly since that probably opening 4 or 5 weeks of the season, he's found a winning formula and taken them to now within, a few points really of the top 6 in League One.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job. And both seasons he's had to work through various challenges initially, but then it's kind of from December, January time in both seasons that he's been at Bolton, they've really, really kicked on. The challenge for him now is to start next season strong and put him in that promotion position and not ensure that they don't have too much ground to make up. But he has done a really, really good job. He's made Bolton an exciting team to watch, very attack-minded. And yeah, as I say, I fully expect them to be right among certainly the playoff chasers next season.
Dean, they made some shrewd additions in January. They obviously lost Owen Doyle, which on paper looks like a massive blow. They've replaced him with Dion Charles from Accrington, who scored a lot of goals at this level over the past 18 months to 2 years, and John Daddy Bodvarsson as well. They've got some big players up top and certainly carry a significant goal threat. Yeah,
definitely. And they've got one of my recent Rovers favourites, Kieran Sadlier, in there as well, who, we all know what he brings to the team. We know about his goal scoring prowess and his long range shooting. So for me, he's definitely one who we need to keep quiet on Saturday. Along with Afolayan, who I think is now on to about 11 goals for the season. It's going to be a tough game. Like we said, they've got that firepower there, and hopefully we can keep them out.
Yeah, Liam, Rovers in the reverse fixture actually started the game well, didn't they? Up until Bolton going a goal up, and then all of a sudden Rovers were a goal down and very quickly a man down as well, with Joe Olowu sent off just before half time, and then it was a bit of a non-event in the second half. But I think if Rovers can take anything, I know that different manager and a fair few different players since that game at the University of Bolton Stadium, but the first half an hour of that one certainly showed promising signs.
Yeah, I think that would arguably one of the best half an hours of the season. How Rovers started that game, and they showed that Bolton have got vulnerability. They commit an awful lot of men forward, and if you can, find that space beyond their midfield, you can really cause them problems. Aidan Barlow had a fantastic game that day in sort of playing in a more central role, and certainly caused them all sorts of problems popping up in that little bit of space. That should give Rovers encouragement, because while Bolton have certainly improved and the form's certainly improved in there, those kind of vulnerabilities that they showed that day, they've still got. There's an opportunity again, a fast start from Rovers. We saw it last weekend. We saw it at the University of Bolton Stadium. If they can make a fast start and make it count, they can really, take a stranglehold on this game and set themselves off in the right direction.
Dean mentioned Sads, Liam, as well. We know all about him. We know he likes playing against his old clubs as well. Perhaps his best Rovers performance was game against Peterborough United, and we saw when he was with Rotherham earlier on in the campaign what he did from the right wing position on that day, and didn't quite work out for him with the Millers, did it? But he's found a new home now, and he got his first goal for the club last week against Portsmouth as well, and he's certainly a player, as Dean said, that Rovers will need to keep an eye on if he plays.
Yeah, I think what he always had were, even if he weren't having the best game or the most effective game overall, he could always pop up from nowhere, really. Dean touched upon those shots from distance. We saw an awful lot cutting in from the left-hand side and having a go at goal. You've got to track him. You've got to keep an eye on him, because even if you've kind of snuffed him out of the game for the majority of it, he can hurt you in an instant. So he'll be one to keep an eye on, certainly.
Go on then, Dean. How do you see this one looking on Good Friday?
That's a good question. My heart says a Rovers win. My head says a draw. I think I'm going to go 1-1.
Liam, how do you see it playing out?
I can see it being tight and competitive. I don't think a draw would be the worst result, but I'm going to give Rovers the win. Edge it 2-1.
Liam, Dean, thank you for your company. Thank you at home for watching on as well. A slightly adapted pre-match show for this one. Get down to the Eco Power though on Good Friday. Rovers face their first game in 4 days across the Easter weekend when they take on Bolton Wanderers.